This podcast is brought to you by HealthRangerStore.com. Lab-tested, clean foods and supplements for immune function, long-term storage, and survival applications. Every purchase helps fund this free speech video platform. Thank you for your support. So once again, all the guns are sold out everywhere. I was just talking to an FFL dealer in Texas. He told me he can't get guns from any of his distributors. Everything's sold out. The HKs, the Glocks, the SIGs, the M&Ps, even the cars, everything. Well, except crap models. You can still find crap guns somewhere, or like really high-end, expensive, specialized guns. Like you can find a Glock that has been emblazoned with a picture of President Trump, for example, for $900. If you want Trump on your Glock and you're willing to pay $900, yeah, you can still find a Glock. But personally, I don't want pictures of people on my Glocks. I don't think of them as art. I think of them as tools. You know, I'm not here to look at it and admire the designs on it. Oh, look at this great American flag that's been in laser engraved on this Glock. No, I'm here to, tap and rack and run some rounds and get some work done. And so if you want a gun, again, you kind of miss the window on that. You're going to have to pay extra right now. I did manage to pick up a Glock 365 XL as a kind of an interesting experiment as a carry weapon, because it's more of a slim profile, so it's easier to carry. I'm playing around with that. I had to pay extra for that, though. I think I had to pay like $630. It should normally be maybe $500 something. So you'll have to pay extra to get one of these guns. And the same thing is true with gun parts. This is what's interesting. I've always recommended that if it's legal in your area, get yourself a Polymer 80, which is a Glock lower, essentially, that you can make yourself with a drill press and a routing machine, or get yourself some 80% AR-15 lowers and get yourself a Ghost Gunner machine. And I'm still waiting on my GG3, by the way, because they were delayed because of the lockdowns and China shutting down. So yeah, I ordered a GG3, which is a Ghost Gunner, last year. Still waiting on it. Crazy. But once you have that, you can make AR-15 lowers, and then you can buy all the parts. You buy the upper, you buy the trigger set, with the pins, and you buy the bolt carrier group and the buttstock and the buffer tube and all that stuff. You can put it together, which is a lot of fun, by the way. I've made, AR-15 rifles from scratch that way. But all those parts are becoming a lot more difficult to find and a lot more expensive as well. So I remember I used to be able to buy like a lower parts kit for an AR-15 rifle for like, I don't know, $49, and now it's $79 or something, or used to be able to buy a complete lower with the receiver and the buttstock and everything, with the trigger, everything. Palmetto used to have them on sale for $109. Now they're $179 or something. A lot of things have gone up in price between 50 to 80%, frankly, in the gun world. And the same thing's true with ammo. I remember I used to be able to buy a box of the XM855 green tip, 5.56, 420 rounds on stripper clips for $129. I think last Black Friday, I saw those for like $119. Now they're $199 typically, or $189. So again, almost doubling in price. And so there's a lesson in all this. You may recall in previous podcasts, I had mentioned times when, 22 LR ammo got down to 3.5 cents a round. And I specifically remember saying, hey, this is a great time to buy 5,000 rounds or 10,000 rounds of 22 rifle ammo, because it's dirt cheap, 3.5 cents. Well, now those rounds are like 9 cents or something. It just depends on where you buy them, but everything's hard to find. Everything's expensive again. And it goes in cycles like this with guns and ammunition. It's always in cycles. There's a mass panic, and then there's a total falling off of demand. In fact, that's already happened this year. So in March and April, there was a mass panic to buy guns. And then in May, everything, well, actually it didn't settle off that much. But when the riots picked up, that's when the gun sales surged again. So a second wave of surge of gun sales once the riots began, So the rioters, Black Lives Matter has been selling more guns than any other group in history. In fact, Black Lives Matter has done more for gun rights in America than the NRA. Black Lives Matter has managed to convince millions of people to buy firearms who otherwise wouldn't have bought them. When they seized downtown Seattle and they declared a police-free autonomous zone run by left-wing terrorists carrying around AK-47s, you know what the average American started thinking? Oh, I better effing go get a gun, right? It's the only rational thought. When your city's been taken over by left-wing terrorists, you start thinking about these kinds of things. I better get a gun. And that's why sales are just skyrocketing now for most of the month of June. And I'm sure going into July, it's going to be sky high again. And with all the madness from the left heading up into the elections, the gun makers can't even deliver enough guns. They can't even keep them in stock. So now people are buying all these weird ass guns that nobody would normally want. I don't know, like some Ruger 223 ranch rifle or something. I mean, they're perfectly fine. Actually, they're quite rugged, but normally you'd want an AR-15, or I don't know, these weird Kel-Tec handguns that have all weird functions and weird parts and things, but people are buying them. It's getting into the crazy. Like when you go to the grocery store and all the good bananas are gone and the only bananas left are like smashed up and, all browned up and half a banana is missing. But if you want bananas, that's what you buy because those are the only bananas left. That's what the pistols have come down to now. You got to buy all these weird, banged up pistols. Or you can get like used, factory refurbished SIG pistols like the P320s that have been sent back to the factory from that original run. Remember where the trigger accidentally went off if you hit it on the ground just right, which almost never happened. But SIG refurbished those and now they're selling those. You can probably get some of those. There's nothing wrong with those. I actually have one of those. They're fine. They were reworked and they're good. In fact, the 320 is an excellent pistol from SIG. That's actually what I'm carrying right now. So anyway, you're going to get into some difficult, times here if you want to purchase guns and you haven't already done it. But it's still important to get them because who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next? Who knows what kind of martial law or lockdowns are going to happen? The virus starts rising up again, more lockdowns in your city, and then they close the gun stores and you're not even able to go in and buy a gun, especially in Democrat-controlled cities and states. So if you want a gun, if you want a rifle, you better get it now. And if you had got it a year ago, you're saving a lot of money, by the way. And they might even be cheap now compared to where they're going. There's always going to be a secondary market, but how much are you going to have to pay for a Glock, right? You have to pay $1,000. That's way too much, but if you don't have a gun and everything's going crazy and the society's collapsing, would you pay $1,000 to have a gun? Probably. So yeah, times are going to get crazy. Gun prices are going to get crazy. Ammo prices too. So maybe buying now is cheap compared to where it's going for the rest of the year. We'll see. But I suspect at some point, the guns are going to get back into supply again and the ammo is going to get cheaper again. But that might not be till next year. And frankly, if Joe Biden wins, that might never happen. Joe Biden might sell more guns than Black Lives Matter, for all we know. The dementia gun salesman. Crazy times. But check out my website, guns.news. Guns.news, just like it sounds. I'm Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. You can also hear my podcasts at brighteon.com and check out my website, newstarget.com, which is entirely 100% blacklisted by Facebook, which tells you it's probably got some interesting stuff to check out. So thanks for listening. Take care. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.